Imagine you could step into a machine, press a few buttons, and suddenly find yourself in the roaring 20s, mingling with flappers and drinking illegal whiskey. Or maybe instead, shoot forward to the year 3000 and witness technologies beyond our wildest imaginations. Time travel, it's the stuff of dreams. But what if I told you that the reality of time travel, at least according to our best understanding of physics, isn't just impractical? It might not even be possible at all. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, Ollie. Aren't there solutions in Einstein's equations of general relativity that allow for time loops or wormholes? Yes. And if sci-fi movies have taught us anything, it's that where there's a theoretical solution, there's hope for a time machine, right? Well, not so fast. Let's break it all down. To start, let me take you back, metaphorically, of course, to when Einstein introduced his groundbreaking theory of general relativity. Published in 1915, it fundamentally changed how we understand space and time, or as physicists like to say, spacetime. Instead of being a rigid stage where events in the universe unfold, spacetime is dynamic, like a stretchy fabric. Mass and energy bend this fabric, creating what we perceive as gravity. Now, why is this important? Because spacetime isn't just a backdrop, it's part of the story. And this story gets really strange when massive objects or high velocities start messing with that fabric. Enter the idea of time dilation. Now here's the basic idea. If you travel really, really fast, close to the speed of light, or you hang out near a supermassive object, like a black hole, time will move differently for you. This is not science fiction. It's been experimentally confirmed. Imagine you're on a spaceship zooming around at 99.9% the speed of light, and I stay here on Earth. For every year you experience on your ship, decades or maybe even centuries could pass for me. It's like a one-way ticket into the future. Pretty wild, isn't it? But notice something important here. This kind of time travel is completely unidirectional. You can jump forward in time, but there's no way back to the moment you left. This brings us to the next major question. What about traveling backward in time? Can the same fabric of space-time be manipulated to loop back on itself? That's where things start to unravel. In 1949, the mathematician Kurt Gödel proposed a theoretical universe, later dubbed Gödel's universe, where time travel into the past was mathematically possible. He found a solution to Einstein's equations that included closed time-like curves, essentially loops in time. Sounds promising, right? Except Gödel's universe required a rotating cosmos, something observational astronomy hasn't supported. No rotating universe, no time travel. But physics didn't entirely give up on the idea. Wormholes, or Einstein-Rosen bridges, emerged as potential shortcuts through space-time. You've seen these portrayed in countless sci-fi films. Where one end of the tunnel might be in our present day, the other could spit you out into the past or future. Mathematically, wormholes are permissible under general relativity. But, and here's the massive but, they are faint theoretical possibilities. Every plausible solution comes riddled with near-impossible constraints, not the least of which is the requirement for exotic matter to stabilize the wormhole. Exotic matter, a type of material with negative energy density, has never been observed in nature. And according to most quantum field theories, there's no indication we'll ever find it. Even worse, quantum mechanics, that beautifully weird powerhouse of modern physics, throws a wrench into wormhole stability. Any attempt to sustain one would incur catastrophic levels of radiation. In short, these shortcuts sound amazing on paper, but reality refuses to cooperate. Still, there's one last Hail Mary physicists have seriously considered: the grandfather paradox. You've likely heard this one before. Suppose you step back into the past and accidentally, or intentionally, prevent your own grandfather from meeting your grandmother. By doing so, you've effectively erased any chance of your own existence. But wait, if you never existed, how could you have gone back in time to stop them in the first place? See the problem? Physicists call this a causal paradox, and they're as messy as they sound. So how do you solve it? One idea, proposed in the 1980s, is the Novikov self-consistency principle. It essentially states that all events within a timeline must be consistent with one another. In other words, if time travel exists, paradoxes can't. You'd only be allowed to participate in events that have already happened in a way that aligns with your future existence. You try to stop your grandfather? Something will intervene to ensure history stays intact. It's like the universe takes care of its own continuity script. Fascinating, right? But here's where even this principle faces criticism. The Novikov principle assumes a level of determinism in the universe that quantum mechanics seems to disrupt. You've probably heard of quantum superposition, where particles can exist in multiple states until they're observed. Time, by its very nature, seems tied to this probabilistic reality. If futures depend on quantum probabilities, can deterministic timelines like Novikov's truly hold up? Maybe not. Which leads us finally to the concept of multiverses. Some physicists speculate that every time a paradox would occur, the universe splinters into a new alternate version where both outcomes coexist. But here's where we have to get brutally honest. We have zero experimental evidence for multiverses. Nada, zilch. They're elegant, sure, but entirely theoretical at their core. Now, as if that wasn't enough to put a damper on your time travel dreams, there's an even deeper problem: thermodynamics. Specifically, the second law of thermodynamics. This law states that in a closed system, entropy or disorder always increases. If you think of time as a linked chain of cause and effect, entropy gives the arrow of time its direction. Reversing time travel would effectively require reversing entropy. And here's the kicker. Everything we know about physics tells us this is impossible. Entropy increases. Period. Are you feeling a bit overwhelmed? Good. Because this is truly where the nature of time and our perception of it collides head-on with physical reality. Time travel isn't just a logistical problem. It cuts to the core of what time even is. Let's zoom out for a moment. The universe is governed by mathematical laws, and those laws describe phenomena incredibly well. Yet, when we look closer, whether it's space-time, quantum mechanics, or thermodynamics, we find cracks in our understanding. The dream of time travel exposes those cracks in glaring detail. It's not simply that we can't build a time machine. It's that the very concept forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge itself. So, where does that leave us? Time travel to the future is a one-way street, bound by relativistic constraints we understand well. As for backward time travel, the road is blocked by paradoxes, impractical requirements, and the ever-present tyranny of entropy. Could some future breakthrough in physics change this? It's possible. But as of 2025, the odds look slim. And perhaps that's okay. Time's arrow pulls us forward, inevitably. Maybe it's not about getting tangled in hypothetical trips to the past, but about making the most of the present. Thanks for diving deep into this fascinating topic with me today. If this made you rethink your favorite sci-fi tropes, or just appreciate the complexity of our universe a little more, let me know in the comments. Can you imagine what a world with time travel would really look like? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and click that bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Hyperfocus is still a new channel, and every bit of your engagement helps us keep going and growing. Stay hyper-focused, and let's make the most of the moments we have. Because time, my friends, waits for no one.